Hello everybody, welcome to DIY, the show where we talk about DIY ethics, morals, ideas, and how they relate to your real, actual life. So each week, me, Andrew, Larry, I sit down with a couple of guests, and we talk about why they choose to do it themselves and why it's better than everything else. So hey everybody, what time is it? It's time for DIY! Oh, welcome everybody. We're here on the show. This is the first ever episode. I can't believe we made it here. So all day I've been manically chain smoking, running around, doing all sorts of things. But yeah, so welcome to DIY the show. And what this show is really about to me is about, explaining different scenes and things, why we do it ourselves. It's very hard. So each week we have a topic on the show. This week's topic, I kept it nice and vague and broad. We're talking about why we actually choose to do it ourselves. So my sort of belief behind this show is to do something for others, to build a community that you want to live within. And so I got a couple of guests here. We're all here in the circle. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. So I'll introduce each one of you. So all the way on the left, we have Larz Brogan here, one of the best drummers in Boston in like almost every band I could think of. So you want to rally off some of them?
Yeah. I mean, right now I'm drumming in Dump Him.
Dump Him.
Just got back from a tour. I had to step down from a lot of the projects I was in, but I'm playing bass in Palehound.
Cool.
Gonna be playing stuff on this guy, Michael Character's album.
Yeah.
Playing in a band, the Rice Crackers.
Cool.
Daphne is still sort of ish floating around.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Oh, thank you for
much
having
appreciated.
me.
So next to you, we have Mr. Ikeda, James Ikeda here. He's he gets the slide whistle.
Yeah.
So James Ikeda, he's an educator. He's a teacher. I can say it twice. He's also a teacher, and he's also a musician. He's organizer with the Bummer City Historical Society. Great friends of ours. We've worked together several times in the past. So, aka the Michael character, you're gonna perform for us as well tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a couple of tunes.
So James is gonna play us some songs for us. So why don't you tell us about what you got going on right now? What's going on with the Bummer City?
Well, Bummer City's taking a bit of a break for the summer.
Nice.
I'm gearing up for tour.
Yeah.
But on the band end, I'm doing a record right now. Right.
So you and Larz here are gonna do some sweet tunes.
Little collabing.
Little collab, yeah.
It's still taking shape.
Very cool. Very cool.
And to sort of wrap it up the school year.
How you're going on a tour? You're playing a tour, new album, all that stuff.
Yeah. So hopefully the album will be done by I leave first week of July.
First
it's
week
kind
of
of
July.
dicey. We'll see.
And then last we have Mr. Ben here. Ben, how you doing?
Pretty well. How are you?
Ben, I'm really glad to have you. So Ben's a local artist. Another connection with everything. So you've done an album for Palehound.
Yep, album cover. Yeah.
Album cover, and then for Attica Basement as well.
Yep.
So you're a local artist here. If you look behind us, this is all of Ben's artwork back here. It's amazing. So the show. So we're here on the show, and I'm a professional host, and I've been doing a radio show for a couple of years now. And so really the whole idea was I want to just bring it to TV. So we're going to talk a little bit. I want to ask each one of you, have a nice little discussion about sort of what you guys think DIY is. So, right off the top, I'd love to start. This is one of my favorite things. What's one of your favorite projects that you've worked on? Maybe it could be like a piece of art for you. But we'll start with you, Ben. What's like maybe a favorite piece of art or something? For me, it was a band I used to be called Asshole Roller Coaster. And you can find us on the internet somewhere. And what this band was me and the director, actually Justin was the lead singer. And the great thing about that band is we basically, it was no pressure. I was doing house shows at the time, so we basically played dead last at like 1 o'clock in the morning. We were a 3-piece punk band and just sang about like, I don't know. We had a song called Hate Nation where we just listed stuff we hate, and like it was great. And it was just free. When projects are just free and take no effort. Do you have anything like that? Something that just sort of like went from your brain straight onto the paper?
I mean, yeah. I would say my favorite collaboration I have done would be with my friend Griffin, who's a good songwriter.
Yeah.
That was my favorite DIY project. We were called Missiles.
Missiles, very cool.
And I do a music thing right now.
What's your music thing?
Well, it's just called Missiles. Not like a missile, but it's like a book. It's a prayer book basically.
Okay.
For like Catholics. It's not a Catholic band, but it's like a Sunday missal. You like open it up and it has prayers and like information that you need to know if you're seeking the Lord. so yeah.
But that's anyway, just kind of like a carefree project for you, right?
It was a carefree project, and it was a nice spark. I don't usually work with people like collaborate very much.
Yeah.
Because I'm so shy.
Yeah.
But like that was a nice free environment, and
that's great.
I look back with Yeah, we didn't get very much done, but it felt great.
But as long as it feels good, you feel creative, and I think that's like the big thing. I'm kind of asking with this. It's like, I think with DIY and sort of creating things yourself, you're always looking for that inspiration and the push because you're the only one pushing yourself. So it's fun and easy. Like James, you've had anything like that? Or like even like a song that's just kind of like, boom, here it is.
Actually, I don't know if anyone knows this, but I still technically have a side project called Francois Dillinger.
Francois Dillinger.
And it's me and my friend Connor Healy, who lives in Buffalo now, and we used to do a thing my senior year of college where I would text him and say, hey, like today, and he'd be like, okay, and then within 12 hours we both write and record 2 songs.
Oh, crazy.
And it was a thing we would just sort of do.
Yeah, when it's just syncopated.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, they were horrible.
Yeah.
Garbage songs.
Garbage songs.
It's like really terrible.
Well, I mean,
but it was a lot of fun. It was all sort of internal laptop mic stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah. But that was really fun.
That's
just 'cause
awesome.
it was very low stakes.
So is the kids at a band camp?
Yeah, I think it's still up there. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, my 13-year-old recordings on the MySpace are probably still floating around, so we can't
Whoa.
delete those.
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake owns MySpace. Didn't he own MySpace?
Oh
for
yeah,
years?
for like a sec or
Oh,
something.
so I guess we got it queued up. So this is actually Asshole Roller Coaster.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I guess Justin wanted to show his beautiful vocals. I guess. Can we get a cut of Justin in there? Can we show Justin? Can he lip sync it in there? Can we get a live shot of Justin in there? All right. That's enough of that, Kevin. Come back here. Kevin, come back to me. Enough of him. All right. So let's kill the music. So that was Asshole Roller Coaster. You can find us on the internet. That's hilarious. Where did you guys even find that?
We found that on Facebook.
Facebook? All right. Wait.
Yeah, terrifying, huh?
Terrifying, right? So
I think someone is impersonating to be Andy Lowry right now.
on Facebook?
I think someone's setting up a
Someone
catfish
stole my
right now.
identity today, guys.
Yeah.
Whatever. So let's keep this show on the road, I guess. Whatever. We're doing it. So Larz, how about you? What's a fun project for you? What's something that just sort of naturally occurred?
I mean, honestly, probably Sexy Coyote kind of stands out in my mind because that was really, that was the first band that I actually played drums in, which was like a huge thing for me. And also just sort of it came together very organically, and it was immediately after Bright Red Reason had disbanded, because we were a band for like 5 years, and then we like lived together and shit. What can I say?
Yeah.
Okay,
you can
sick.
swear.
Yeah, so that was like a really kind of weird, tough transitional period, and then came in.
Mad genius.
Amazing person. We like met on the street because we both had like wild colored hair, and like he really liked to like dress up in drag and stuff and like wear heels around campus. And I was like, yo, this person's sick.
Yeah.
And we both bonded over loving My Chemical Romance,
There you go.
classic.
Yep.
So yeah, the way that kind of came together was cool, and I feel like that was really sort of one of my gateways, I guess, into like the sort of Boston DIY like basement scene. Because the previous band wasn't really playing around here as much because we were like young and dumb and like didn't really know. But yeah, with Sexy Coyote, we started like playing a lot of houses, like befriended so many cool people.
Yeah.
And really got more into DIY on the next level, I guess.
Well, you bring up a good point because one of the things I think that's like unique about Boston and especially the music scene, I think it equates out to more broader scenes because I've talked to several people about this, but Boston's very like exclusive scene. Like you get jumped in here, it's basically like the townie mentality is like, who the hell let you in here? I don't even know how you got in. Who let you in? But then once they know you're like, hey buddy, come on down,
totally,
it's like that's the mentality here. And I think one thing I've always looked for and with people I work with is like, are you the kind of person who's gonna let, are we gonna like make this an open environment where people feel like, especially with bands. I've had bands skip over Boston because they can't find anybody. But once you're in, you come here every year, because it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys found any? What would you say, James? Maybe something specific about the Boston DIY scene? You've been around.
Yeah, I mean, actually, when I started running house shows myself, the idea was that there was a whole bunch of bands I liked a lot who just couldn't get anything together. So the theory was if we had these small living room things that would at least give people, road money and 20 people in the audience, that would be.
Well, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and it ended up being great because we hosted dozens of bands would come through, and it was cool because these people who were great, like really talented, but just didn't have a foothold in the scene yet, and it was fun to get to see those people then come back and get to play.
Exactly. I mean,
places.
when I was doing house shows, the same thing is I was booking these bands, and they'd grow a fan base here, and they'd come back every time, and they'd be like, "This is crazy. I love this. This is what I'm looking for." And it's like you said. a bunch of bands. Like, that's how a music scene starts. Like, that's what I always say to people. That's how any scene starts. It's a group of people like, hey, we all like doing this one thing. There's nowhere for us to do it. Let's find somewhere to do this. And then that's how you create it, you know? I think, you know, house shows are a prime example of that, where it's you know, it's either one person. There's always someone who's like, I can handle this. I can organize all this. And then it goes crazy and you're like, okay, well, can someone else help? And can you guys at least do the dishes before the show? Come on.
SOS.
But, you know, who'll do the dishes?
Yeah.
Is that a
Johnny Hope.
Yeah.
You know, gotta get the folk punk. Folk punks out there. If you're watching, I got you. Chris O'Grady camera is the folk punk camera. But either way. You know, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of something specific about Boston. I mean, Ben, for you, for art, what would you say is like sort of the art scene like in Boston? I know nothing about that.
Yeah, no, honestly, me neither. Because it's an issue I've been trying to figure out, because I know lots and lots of artists, visual artists, but and I've actually like thought that, oh, why not? Because there's a nice thriving, like, you know, music scene.
Yeah.
And, you know, basement shows and all that. Like, oh, I could latch on in a visual art sense and like get in on that. And that's nice, but it's not like very consistent, because there's just the amount of shows that happen versus the amount of people who are like going to lug their art out to the show.
So is there a lot of art shows? Like, is there like an actual art community here, would you say?
That's the thing, is I would say yes, but it's that it's scattered, and that there's no sort of like backbone really that I see.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's mass art. Kids is like, anyone else go to mass art? Or not anyone else. I don't go. You
got some
I go to
yeah. I went to UMass Boston, which is not an art school, but they had like but I know that there's all these kids here who like love art and stuff, but
where are they?
Well, like they're here. They're like around. They're on the street and stuff. But it's like, why don't we all have like, you know?
Why don't we all connect?
Yeah,
and
I'm
work
always
together?
like fuming about that.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's so hard to find. I mean, I think even for me starting out as a musician, if I didn't have I started out in Connecticut. I was 16 years old. A friend of mine brought me to this sketchy-ass house show in the middle of Waterbury. There was definitely, like, bad stuff going around us, but it was awesome. It was little Tommy J's house for Lost Boys. I played in a living room. I was 16 years old to a bunch of, like, 20 years old who were drunk, and it was awesome. And I was like, oh, I feel like I'm at home. Like, I have the confidence now. I can express myself. But if I didn't have that coming here, I met some people from Connecticut who brought me here, and if I didn't have that into Boston, I don't think it would have took me forever to find music anywhere. It's something I was wondering, so like presenting yourself for the first time, that's something I think, a lot of our guests and a lot of our audience watching right now, that's something that's really hard. So, the first step, putting yourself, right now, what I'm doing right here, like I'm freaking out. Like, this is cool, we're having fun, but is this really interesting, guys? Hit us up in the chat box next to the YouTube. Chat box us. Anybody chatting in the box? Yeah, what are they saying? Your dad? Amanda's dad. What's up, Ken? How you doing, Ken Brack? Live shout-outs. My show, I can do what I want. But yeah, I mean, presenting yourself for the first time is just like, it's one of those things that, I mean, I still feel it every time I play. And I have just got back into playing music again after like a year off. And it's like, I played in a basement, and it's like, that's my natural habitat. That's where I'm used to.
Yeah.
Low lighting and 40s. That's what I'm used to. But I was still like shaking in my boots. But first time, I'll go with you, Larz. What's the first time you guys played live? Was it Bright Red Reason, or were you like high school musicians sort of stuff?
Like the first like gig I ever played.
Yeah, first gig.
Like outside of like a day jams thing.
Yeah.
It was actually so pre Bright Red Reason. Myself and Taylor, who's obviously also in Bright Red Reason, and Alex. Do you know Alex? She was like our homie. Yeah, Micah knows Alex. But she...
Alec?
Like Al,
yeah,
like Alex Fletcher.
Yeah.
So she was like also our bud from Day Jams, and Nick Conway. I don't know if anyone knows him.
No.
But he was like a Medford kid.
Shout out Nick.
But yeah, shout out Nick Conway. He's probably like on shrooms somewhere.
Cool.
But we had this like really bad band called Skyline Ambience, and it was literally like Nick played drums, Taylor and I played guitar, and Alex sang. We had no bass player. We played 2 shows. One was at Millie's Tavern in New Hampshire, and the second was at like the Real School of Music that was in Burlington. I don't know if they're still a thing. But like Millie's Tavern was my first like band gig, and we were like, I think I was a sophomore in high school, so I was like 15. Taylor was like 13, and Alex was 14. Crazy. Yeah, and it was just like, we were like, you were playing a gig, listen to like the Distillers on the way there, like getting like pumped. But it was just, I mean, in retrospect, and it was totally a pay to play thing, it's like, oh, you got to sell like like X amount of tickets or else like no one's gonna come, and it was 21 plus, and it was just like all the bad things that like DIY teaches
13, how did you get 21 plus people?
Can
you tell me that?
I don't even remember how we got it. I literally think it was just like someone, you know how they have like those kind of like sort of scammy monitor people who like go around and like sort of like poach for like baby bands, like new bands that don't know any better, and they're like, like we can get the money out of you.
Get recorded for $3,000.
Yo, totally,
like,
dude, exactly. So I think it was one of those things that just hit us up, and we were like, a gig?
Yeah.
You know, and
just take whatever.
Yeah, and just went with it. But that was like the first like gig. But yeah, then with Bright Red Reason, we started sort of playing more. We actually played a lot in Worcester.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys did play a lot in Worcester. You guys played with me once in Salem. One of my favorite
dudes. Was that the Scumbies show?
With the Scumbies show.
Dude, long live the Scumbies.
So there's this band in Salem. His name is Brian. He's awesome. Brian and Chelsea, what up? But yeah, out of Salem, we played in this basement. They were boxing. There was a DIY boxing ring in the basement.
It was crazy.
Bare knuckle, like serious. And we came in and we're like,
I'm gonna play guitar.
And they were like, you want in next? I was like, no,
like,
please
hell
no.
But yeah, rotating through the boxing.
They were rotating through.
Oh,
DIY boxing.
Yeah,
next week on the show, everybody. I'm challenging people to fight.
DIY boxing.
I'm just gonna go out on the street and fight people.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, I mean, my first show was like I played one of my really close friends in high school. I played her birthday.
Hell yeah.
And the first thing, she was drunk, and she's just like, Andy, stop playing and stop singing, because I was like pre-pubescent. I was 16.
Yes.
I was post-pubescent, but I was still like
in the process.
in that voice area. So I didn't sing that well, and all we did was covers of like Nirvana. So, you know, you can only listen to that for so long.
Yeah.
But James, how about you? What was first gig like? Straight out of the womb?
I didn't start gigging until I was like 19.
19, okay.
I started my first band on my 19th birthday.
19th birthday.
I started playing guitar when I was 18, so we took a while to kind of get into it. But I used to book gigs at a bowling alley in New Jersey, and it would just be like invite a bunch of friends and we would go, and it was a bowling alley and a bar next to it, and then sort of
I've always wanted to play bowling alley.
It was sick.
It's a life goal.
And so I did that like a whole bunch, and then that was kind of.
I also want to have a gospel choir sing behind me. That's a life goal.
Yeah.
I want to spend a day in a mariachi band.
I gotta tell you, I booked we had a winter gala at my house. This winter, and we had a 14-piece chapel choir. Sing, and it was.
At your place in Quincy, that old place? Really?
Yeah, it was wild.
That's awesome.
It was incredible, though. I mean, they played all these real out like German classical pieces. From it was nuts. You know?
That's
but
awesome.
I highly recommend it. So if you do.
Yeah, we're gonna be booking a gospel choir. Sorry, Jim, you're out. We're getting a gospel choir. We're just gonna have chants the whole time, guys. Sorry about that. Just kidding. You guys still have it. But Ben, how about you? Like, so Missiles, did you guys play any shows with that, or maybe presenting your art? What was it? You know, have you done any sort of shows?
Yeah, no, I've done. I mean, the music. I've been playing music forever. Like in high school, I played like around town and stuff. But it's always been between music and art, and art has been like cultivating itself more than the music in the past like 3 years. So
I understand that's what this is. I mean, I kept trying to do music, and this just seemed to be working for me and where my brain was.
Exactly, and I really want to pursue music, but but
this is fun.
Doing the art more now.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Anyway, what was even the question?
What's it like presenting yourself for the first time?
Oh, I just remember that being embarrassing.
Yeah.
But also with an art show, I haven't had like an official. I feel like the goal
a gallery show.
Yeah, like the goal is to have like white walls. and you have all of your stuff hung, and like and it's just you. So I haven't had that yet, but and I don't think that's very easy to do in Boston.
No, it's not. And I think shows try to do it. Like the Bummer City was always, you guys always had a featured artist for your open mics.
And the featured visual artist. Yeah.
So check out Bummer City Historical Society. They do open mics all the time.
Well, you and Lou do some collaborating on that.
Yeah. No, I mean we do.
Lewis Rowe, everybody. Let's reference Lewis Rowe.
Lewis Rowe.
Love
Who would be here but is in New York.
Beautiful human.
Yeah, I was just hanging out with him. So I mean, not even to say like that's like the real deal and that other shows aren't, because I mean me and Lewis, for instance, are always doing like
you guys do art all the time.
Yeah, we're always doing our like shows, like mini shows.
And then I think like even with like social media at the same time, like that's you presenting yourself on a regular basis.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do that a lot, and I'm just like, why not?
Why not?
Because why not?
Because
it's not gonna
for the likes.
Because actually the problem is, I think, like, especially in Boston with the artists, is that I think most artists are generally, they just want to be by themselves and paint all day, which is also like how I feel. So they're not very social.
Yeah.
And that makes it hard.
My girlfriend's an artist.
If there's, yeah.
She works from home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. So if there's not if there's not someone there, some sort of like keeper who's like, you guys are great, I'm gonna help you.
Yeah.
Like, then it's sort of everyone's just off in their own little corners, and I feel like that's kind of what it's like.
Well, I think with art, maybe
most
as
artists in
opposed to music, like music, you need other people to sort of like make this all happen. Art can be an individual process, like you're saying. So it's like you keep those cards close to your chest, and when you got the connections, you're not like, hey, I'm gonna help scoop all you guys up. You know, it's like, no, I want my scoop. One scoop per bite.
We should have a big gala. We can get a little.
Yeah, the Bummer City Gala.
We can have the next year's winter gala. Get all the artists together.
Can you do a Bummer City Gala? I will wear a 3-piece suit.
I wore a tailcoat last year. So.
Tailcoat?
Yeah. But
You have a cummerbund, James?
Okay,
Only person.
I don't want to get into this.
Okay. Sorry. We'll talk after.
Sensitive
Yeah.
subject. Well, you get the sort of big, thick gold frames for all the things.
Yeah.
And hang them at that angle they do at the museum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
there
like
you go.
that. Yeah.
We'll just have a
Love
blank
that.
one and says someone stole it. Like there's no cover there,
Perfect.
You know? I love it. So like moving on, like what sort of does DIY mean to you guys? Like to me, it's a set of morals. Like that's what it's always been to me. Like at the end of the day, you know, I never set out making music to make money. I never set out to do the show to make money. I've never set out to do any of the stuff I'm doing, booking shows to make money. If I make money, that's cool, but it's more of a sustainability. You know what I mean? DIY for me has always meant it's building a community of people all doing it themselves, helping out each other, and adhering to the fact that, like, you know, I was a teenage anarchist. Against me, right? But you know, either way, I was, you know, Mr. Punk Rock, you know, screw the system. I mean, I still think that way now. Like, like capitalism is the reason we're in the mess we're in right now. Let's all admit it. But either way, getting my own political message in on this show aside, the way I look at DIY is sort of like on that anarchistic belief where it's like if the people will build it, you know what I mean? If you help them, like you're talking about the scooping up, like that's how I think about everything. Like I'm always thinking about like, oh, my buddy, you know, Dave, he loves doing this, but he never has a chance to do it other than in his room by himself. But what if I put him in the show like this, you know? And like that's what DIY means for me is making a place for you and your friends, like playing pretend and having a great time. Like the first time we all did it ourselves when we played Cops and Robbers in our backyards, you know, it's as lame as that.
Yeah.
But you know, I could start with you, James. But like, what does sort of DIY mean to you? What is sort of like the mentality behind it for you?
Well, there's never an option for me to make money on music. I mean, it's, you know, I'm not the sort of person who has an audience that would ever allow for that. But I think
you could, James. I would believe in you.
I think it gives you opportunities you wouldn't otherwise have. So for me, like playing shows is one thing, but touring was the big thing for me.
Yeah.
Because I always dreamed of touring, and I thought it was something you could only do if you had, you know, label support and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But the first time I went on tour, I just sort of looked up like Google like city folk punk, like Pittsburgh folk. And just sort of found people and sent messages. And it was incredible that I when I showed up to these places and could play in someone's living room, and I sort of learned that was an option.
Yeah.
I realized, I could actually...
You could do this.
I could
make this happen.
Yeah,
so you know what I didn't do? Because I'll take a moment. I'm just going to stand up. We're standing up. So we're doing some stuff. I didn't introduce you to anybody. Oh, stand down like this? Like a half squat? This is weird. This feels weird. I shouldn't be doing this.
Go full half.
I'll just sit again. So behind me is Carby Yuan. He's our VJ, video game killer extraordinaire. He's in the background. I just want to introduce him. Let's give him a round of applause. He's a hardcore retro god on the internet. You can find him there. And then we have Sam Dubstep, and we have Mr. Sonny Jim Clifford, a.k.a. Sonny James Clifford, and the Shit Kickers as our house band, everybody. So, you know... that's it. That's the people we have, and Ben's artwork. You know, that's been here, so that's been cool. But yeah, so we've been here on the show, we're hanging out. So I got some more questions for you. You like my cue cards?
I love
Do I look
them.
professional?
Yeah, they're pro.
Oh, here we go. This is a good one. What has been the hardest or most rewarding aspect of doing it yourself, Larz?
Hardest and most rewarding,
hardest
or
most rewarding.
I mean, I feel like hardest can honestly sometimes be like if you're like on tour, like if you know, like James was saying, like if you book a tour, like a DIY tour, and you're staying in a city that like you've never been or that you don't really know people and like you don't have a place to stay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's definitely like other really hard things, but I feel like that's something that just like, you know, pops off the top of the head right now. Because that actually happened to Daphne when we went on one of our tours like last year. We just did like a couple weekenders. But we played we played this really weird show at this strange place on 420 in DC. And then we had nowhere to stay because like the spot where we were supposed to stay like fell through. So we were like driving around in this like rental minivan at like 2 a.m. And I posted a Facebook status. I was like, is there anyone in DC that I know that could like house like 3 people or 4 people because we had a friend tonight? And then some kid that I don't even know how I knew, but we were like mutual friends, probably from one of those weird like, you know, like what is emo like grooves or whatever groups, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, like
whatever.
some Facebook group.
Some Facebook group. He was like, yo, like I live like in College Park or whatever, which was like right outside we were playing. He was like, I have 4 couches and you can stay. And I was like, don't know this person, but like we're coming through. And he ended up being like super chill. But in those situations, like, you know, sometimes you just have to like sleep in the van or like sleep on like the floor of like a Sonic or something, you know.
You want me to call some people out right now? You want to hear some
If you're down, I'm always down for the dirt.
I'm always down for some drama. This show's gonna be full of drama, everybody. No, just kidding. But when I went on tour last, same spot, DC.
Yeah.
We stayed at a friend's house. Big Sam knows this story. He was there with me. So Big Sam was on tour with me along with Cal Brocky. He was playing drums for me. And so we were on tour in DC. We had a great time. We had played a great show. We played like the most adult house space ever. Like it was like people I knew from back in the day who did house shows. Yeah. And then they got married and bought a house, and it was very nice and clean. And like they made us homemade tacos. It was amazing. But either way, Yeah, Matt Piscinius. I gave you guys the hookup. Oh, that's Baltimore. But we played that show, then went to DC. Whatever. You know, Chris, come on. You're not even on camera. But either way, so we're in D.C. and we're right in DuPont Circle, which is a very nice affluent area where like senators live and crap. And so I parked on the street because I'm like, sure, I'm not going to get robbed. And then we go upstairs. Cal had gotten blackout drunk and throw up all over my car. And I had to clean that up all night. Then we get upstairs and he's in the bathroom dry heaving. And Sam, we went over to his friend's house, and it was a longtime friend, and maybe me and Cal should have stayed at the house. But Sam, you know, he's getting little smooches, no judgments. But I'm in the center of Cal gagging, and then little smooches, and me just like, please go to bed. Yeah. And then the next morning I wake up, my car got broken into. So, you know, that's how it goes. Dude. But this is what I'll say. He got my acoustic guitar, got my sunglasses, and then I had a little bit of weed in there. And so I was like, all right, at least this guy got a cool guy starter kit. Like, he's on the street. If he's busking and shades, like, yeah, all right, fair enough. So cool, if you're out there, buddy, it's okay. I forgive you. It was meant to be. It was me. Know. It was you? You stole a snare stand, too? Why just a snare stand? You guys stole just a snare stand. What are you going to do with that?
That's always the case. They always steal, like, the hardware. Yeah. But not the actual...
Well, because you sell it for metal. Scrap.
Yeah, good point.
I did scrap, like when I stopped doing house shows, I scrapped some of the, I got like $12. Scrap. I don't need a snare stand.
I bought your speakers.
You bought my speakers, they still work for you?
Yeah.
Cool.
There you go.
I didn't know if they worked. Just putting that out there. But either way, I think it's about time we go to a cutaway. We have the cutaway queued up now. We figured it out. All right, we're professionals here. So without further ado, this is a Sounded Out session. The band is Lilith. Eric Walker, he's an amazing dude. He does great videos, so check him out online. They're friends of ours. They should be friends of yours. So without further ado, let's take it away with the cutaway.
Can we box?
I mean, if you're up to it, yeah.
Yeah, no, we're up to it.
Oh shit, we're back live. Hey everybody, welcome back to DIY. So I hope you enjoyed that performance from Lilith. I love that video. That's why I put it in the show. I love Eric. I love Sound It Out. So you should check them out on Facebook. We're back with our guests. How are you guys doing? How are we feeling? We feeling comfy?
Hydrated.
Butts in the squares. Ate some donuts. We sped 8 munchkins like this. But yeah, so I wanted to bring. We have an empty chair now. I wanted to bring in who dressed me today. I have a fashion consultant. Her name is Lexi DeLexi. So without further ado, our DIY fashion expert, Lexi DeLexi, everybody. Welcome. Hello, Lexi, great to see you. Great to see you as always. So Lexi, how are things in the world of your life?
Oh my gosh, just too bright in here. I went out partying last night.
Where did you go partying? Where's the spots?
I actually went all the way to New York. They flew me to New York to show up.
From Logan.
Yeah, they actually showed up at Le Bon, and it was turned.
Fair. So you dressed me today. So what was your sort of thinking behind this outfit, this ensemble?
Well, because you have black pants, which is always fashionable, and then you have a tight shirt, always fashionable. But if you unbutton like one button, it would look so much better. Yeah, because I know that your shirt's kind of ironic. So
most things I wear are ironic.
It's okay. It's so bright in here. Oh my god.
Yeah. Sorry, we have to have the lights in here, Lexi. I'm very sorry. So
fine.
Lexi, she's been doing. You're a New York fashion student, or you graduated yet? No, you're still a student.
Yeah, I'm still a student at FIT, like just studying like fashion merchandising.
Okay.
Which is like, I just like go out and like buy clothes, and that's all I do, and we just talk about buying clothes.
Good life. So for some of our viewers here, I think that, I'm saying house shows, getting way better wardrobes. People are stepping it up. So Lexi, what are some of your tips for DIY people out there trying to step up their fashion game?
Well, you have to wear all black because colors are like for people who don't have personality to try and show personality. I wear Calvin Klein because he's like my dad's friend, so he actually gave this to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
You think you could hook me up?
Yeah, I think I can get you some Calvin Klein. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad to have you on the show, Lexi. She's going to join our panel for the rest of the show. So we were going to actually do something fun. We wanted to have some audience participation. So I was going to take it out to anything in the chat box. Anybody talking to anybody? So if anybody watching right now wants to ask us a question, feel free to ask in the chat box or tweet at us or ask us anything because, we got some ideas. We know what we're talking about somewhat, right?
We're all really woke.
Oh, Andrew, it appears as though we have a call-in.
We have a call-in? Uh-oh, can we pipe in that call, please?
I'll do the best that I can. Keep in mind that it might not sound like a phone, but trust me, it's totally a phone.
Okay.
It completely is.
See what they're getting me into.
Okay.
Hello.
Wait, sir, can you speak up?
Hello.
Okay, I hear you. Hi.
This is President Trump. How
Oh, come on, get out. Cut the line. Next caller, please. Next caller.
Now we have another one.
Not my calling.
Hi, I have a question for the fashion person.
Yes, you have a question.
I want to look cool at a DIY show. Should I go for a pastel pattern or something lush?
Black. It should be all black at all times. What are you talking about?
So it sounds like go black.
Okay.
Don't go back.
What's something lush be?
Yeah, what is lush mean?
It's a beauty store. What are you talking about?
You could smell it from a mile away.
Next week I'm doing bath bombs. They're just going to be in a tub.
That's why my mom buys that for me all the time.
We'll do smell-o-vision for the next one.
Smell-o-vision, exactly.
So.
Do we have any other callers? We got any callers coming in?
We got, looks like we have another caller coming in.
All right, let's hear it.
Hi, guys.
Who is this?
Everybody doing?
What's your name?
My name's Rickles.
Hi, Rick.
I just want to say I've been watching for the last 7 minutes. It's my new favorite show.
Oh, thank you, Rickles. Thank you, Rickles.
Can I ask a question for the fashion expert?
Yeah, you're blowing up.
I'm trying to run outside naked as a fashion statement, but everybody just keeps calling the police.
Oh my God, what is that?
Jeez,
Why are
man.
you making me laugh?
I know. You
I
should.
don't know why.
I have some advice.
Where I can get some food. Liquor stores don't let me in no more.
Mr. Rickles, do you hear me?
No.
Well,
Yes.
just listen blankly, Mr. Rickles. All right. So my tip for you.
Yeah, here, I'm here. It's Justin.
Oh, Justin.
Do we need to cut off Rickles? Is he being
No, bring it back. I like Rickles.
Okay, hold on.
Rickles. Yeah, there he is, buddy. There's my man, Rickles. So, Rickles, my tip to you from Andy of DIY, the host, okay? Black sock.
Everything has to be black. Why
Well,
are
he
you
wants
naked?
to go nude. I mean,
if you're gonna go nude, there's like a club. There's a club for that.
club sock.
Yeah.
Black paint.
All right, Justin, cut him off. Rickles, get out of here. We'll see you next
Bye.
week.
Ew, I actually laughed.
Thank you, Mr. Rickles.
I looked ugly doing that, right?
Thank you, Mr. Rickles. All right, so that's enough of the call-ins. Those were great. I'm surprised Trump's watching. Are you really surprised? You know?
Well, you know, it's.
We are aired on Fox News, everybody, right after Fox and Friends. Either way, anybody in the audience got any questions? We got the audience here. Anybody wonder anything?
Andy, where's the $5 you owe me?
I owe you $5, Micah? From when?
Like 2007.
I wasn't even here in 2007. I was graduating high school. Unfair. Same here. We all answer questions. Whatever. So enough of the call-ins, audience question.
I got a question.
You got a question, Max?
DIY is inclusive. What about Rickles? You just blew him off.
Oh, wow. Okay, fair. All right, I apologize, Mr. Rickles, if you're still watching. We just needed to move on, sir. I hope I answered your question. But yeah, we'll keep moving forward. So, I really appreciate all of you guys coming on. I think it's about time to wrap up. What? I heard something. Did I hear something?
No.
I'm crazy. Oh, it's you, Lexi.
It's me. Of course.
Oscar, we got Oscar.
What's your stance on guerrilla marketing?
Guerrilla marketing, that's a great question. Depending on how. Like, I think that, the way to promote yourself is to just yell it a million times until someone pays attention. And if you follow me on Facebook, you'll know that's the case.
But don't have a fashion blog.
Okay, why not?
Because I'm too fashionable for that. I just wear people's clothing.
Oh, so that's your viral marketing. You say you modeling while...
Other people's clothing. And everyone's like, Lexi, you should start a fashion blog. And I'm like, no, because I don't need to.
How are you on Insta?
I am on Insta, but, it takes me, an hour to think of the perfect selfie. Because, sometimes I'm going to need, an Aiden or, a Calvin. It just depends the mood that I'm in.
Totally.
Do you have a selfie stick?
No, my arms are long enough.
True. Good point.
We need to get some selfie sticks in this room.
That'd be fun.
No, that's for tourists. What are you talking about?
That's fair.
That's
fair.
for Boston Calling.
Yeah, that's for college.
That's for New York tourists in Times Square. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but so guerrilla marketing for me, I like ideas of clever ways of introducing yourself to people. I think word of mouth works best, and talking to someone face to face. I get people out to shows by saying, "Hey, am I going to see you at the show next week?" And they're like, "Oh, Andy said that to my face. I will feel real guilty if I don't show up." And then they actually show up. So that's my kind of feeling on it. I don't know. How do you guys feel? Have you guys had promoting yourself? That's a great way. DIY promoting. So for you, Ben, as an artist, I don't understand how you promote yourself as an artist other than saying, "Here's my art." Have you tried anything else?
No, that's pretty much it. Really, it's just kind of shameful. It's like Facebook,
Check
all the
it out.
time. Every time I make a painting, I'm just
Yeah.
all right, boom,
Yeah.
boom, put it on Facebook. And that's actually how I got most of my commissions,
Mhm.
my album cover commissions. It worked out really well. So I think Facebook is just a
Well, I've
good,
been
easy
told.
way to just sit
I've been
back
told
and be
Instagram, the same way your employer is going to look at Facebook if they want to hire you, they're going to look at Instagram for your artwork and if you maintain your processing stuff.
If it's just there, if it's it's all about just finding a way to make the work available.
Yeah.
And for musicians, Bandcamp is the perfect platform for that. I find it's just perfect.
Yeah, anybody who uses SoundCloud or Reverb Nation, you're idiots.
Reverb
and
Nation.
I judge you if you use Reverb Nation. People still, I get links for
Do
Reverb
people still
Nation.
use that?
Yeah, I get EPKs from Reverb
Oh my god,
Nation.
EPKs.
I think SoundCloud is sometimes good for embedding.
That's true. I'm sorry.
Like
SoundCloud's.
I don't want to start any sort of a fight on it,
We'll have a debate later.
Controversial.
How about you,
opinions.
Larz? What are some of the ways you've marketed yourself?
I mean, I feel like definitely like, social media, Facebook is obviously like seems to be like the number one. But I mean, even just like old school like flyering, like go to the library, like print out like a shit ton of flyers and just like hang them up around. I mean, it can be like kind of annoying, but I feel like if you have like a pal with you or something, it can be fun, especially if you're like with someone and you're like, let's go hang out in like this area of Boston and just flyer. Yeah. And I mean, I know there are also like a lot of really cool booking collectives around, and I find that like, of course, if you're doing DIY, you're going to book your own shows, but like if someone in a booking collective or somebody who has access to like a DIY space is willing to help you out, that's still DIY.
That's true.
That doesn't mean that like it's like this person's booking this show for me, like I like don't have any DIY cred,
No, exactly.
It's just like whoever
totally
has
fair.
access to the spaces, so kind of like linking up with those people, like if you can or whatever, and just kind of like
I think it's also about going out and being
going to
That's
shows.
the
That's
hardest
like the
thing.
big, Greg McKillop. Greg, I'm like half this room probably knows Greg. But I remember like because I first met them when I was like 15, 16 around
What was
the
his
time.
band again? What's the name of the band?
Speaker for the Dead.
Speaker for the Dead. Yes.
Way back,
Love
baby.
Speaker.
But yeah, I remember they were like the first person who like I really remember being like, and just so honest and genuine about it, like, if you want people to come to your shows, just go to their shows.
That's it.
And like you don't know if you're gonna like a band until you see them.
Yep.
Or, until maybe like you become friends with them, and even if like their music isn't your total bag, like just going to support your friends and go and hang out or whatever, and it's like also you never know, you could find your next favorite band or a band you want to tour with or a band you want to book a show with or that you're just like super into just by literally like getting to the gig. And it's just especially now in Boston, Allston, this whole area too, like there's so many shows happening all the time.
It's crazy. I think maybe because I think something I'm guilty of is stopping going to shows. And then a big part of that for me was just I felt like I had nothing to offer to the scene anymore, so I didn't want to I just shut myself off. I became a hermit, and I was like and then anxiety grew, and the confidence lessened.
Totally,
you know what I mean?
Totally.
But I mean, when I first moved to Allston, I remember every night of the week, anywhere I walked, if I walked up Pratt Street, there was a house show I could walk into.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I think they're still like that now.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, it's a little, people are smarter and figured out how to throw house shows without getting the cops called on them.
Totally.
So it's a little harder to find, but it's still happening. And so, that's great advice: is go out, see a show, participate into the scene that you want to be a part of.
Get to the gig.
Get to the gig, right? James, how about you? Any tips you could give on people getting themselves out there?
I think cross promotion is really important. Because if you have you're sort of cultivating a network of people you work with usually, it can be really helpful to tap into somebody else's network and to sort of share and cross promote. I think that's the quickest and easiest, most effective and long lasting way to kind of scale. And you bring a lot of different people in, and that's something that Bummer City's tried to do a lot.
Well,
me
and you, buddy. That's what we're doing right here.
And the other thing is, I think it is definitely very important for people to, if you want to meet more people or any of that, it's good to go out and see as much as you can. But it's also important for us to be easy on ourselves. And I know that this year I've taken a lot of time for myself and not been going out to as many things because it can be quite exhausting. But that sense of obligation that I have to go to this thing because my friend's playing whatever, that can get really overwhelming after a certain point.
Oh,
so
I totally understand.
I think it's important to always have that kind of balance.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree. I think that's all true. I kind of wanted to get to the end of our conversation here. I've been having a great time talking with you all. I usually like to end my my interviews with this question. We'll start with Ben because you're just right there. Mr. Ben, what? Oh, dude, great post. Ben, what is something you would give as a piece of advice to another artist who's starting out right now?
I would just say make like try to like make a real relationship with whatever your medium is. Like if you're a painter like me, it's the easiest example. Just like try to make it like so that it's like a language.
Yeah.
Because that's like a thing. Like I feel like I got this year after working hard at it. But it took like my whole life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like I'm like where I want to be or anything.
No.
But like I just mean now
you're at the first
step.
Like
I'm like fluid or fluent where I know how to just talk or in my chosen language.
Yeah.
So that's what I would just from like my perch where I'm like, guys, I have everything I want. Look up to me. I would be like, guys, just work.
Just work. That's definitely true. And it's like you're saying, it's figuring out where you're starting and then building up from there. I mean, I feel the same way where it's like the show where I'm at right now, I finally know what I want to do and how I want to talk about it. And now it's just climbing up. Scooping up. I love the scoop metaphor all day. How about you, Larz? What's the last piece of advice you give out a starting musician, artist, whatever?
Well, definitely, like we just said, get to the gig. And also just, kind of like be weary of people sometimes, because there are people who will just sort of like try to like either take advantage of you or like use you as like a stepping stone, I guess, and not actually like be your friend. And so just kind of like keep an eye out like for phonies, I guess. But I mean, if you're in the DIY scene, chances are you're already like starting good.
Yeah.
And just don't be afraid to like be yourself and be weird, like as cliche as that might sound.
No, it's super true.
But like I think a lot of like kind of younger up and coming bands and stuff like have this weird like predetermined like mindset of like, oh, like this is what's popular now, like I have to sound like Alex G or something. It's like, no, like you don't. Like do whatever art like comes to you, and like if you're with your friends, like like truly, who gives a fuck?
Well, that's
just
the
like
key
have
with
fun
time.
with it.
Like even what you're saying, start any project, collaborating on anything. With this whole thing, it's like if you take everybody's influences, pile them all together, distill them into what your band's gonna sound like, and that's what I think. It's working together. So that's awesome advice. James is actually setting up because he's going to be performing next for us. But Miss Lexi, any parting words you have for us? Any parting fashion tips? Anything you want to leave us with?
Well, have a lot of money.
Okay.
And wear all black. And wear Calvin Klein. And just study fashion and just don't have a fashion blog, okay?
Don't have a fashion blog?
No.
So Lexi, anything else you want to leave us with? Any sort of words of wisdom you've been thinking along the way?
I mean, I've been thinking, because I'm like the most woke person here, that definitely. You should just like stay woke and just use money to buy clothes and just wear all black all the time, because colors are for losers.
Yeah, they are. I mean,
I
got pink, you got red.
I mean, it's kind of dull anyway.
It's dull.
And also,
we're losers.
Also, printed shirts are ironic.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
I gotta get a Supreme shirt. Can you hook me up with one of those?
Yeah, I'll tell Calvin later.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, James, as you can see, he has left the chair. We've had a great time talking with everybody today on the show. I always like to end the show. I want to end it on a live performance. So without further ado, I want to give to you James Ikeda, aka the Michael character. Let's hear it, everybody.
Hey, this is my master's thesis, but it's a song. Amiri Baraka in Cuba. All these young guys down here, they took power, they just did it. Guns in hair, Robert F. Williams in his big straw hat came to see the land where racism was falling back. A ripe 25, a riper 36, both embraced radical politics. Wouldn't get their heads beaten, rejected unilateral nonviolence. Both took to the Black Revolution, a third world people colonized by the red, white, and blue, which Harold Cruz and John Henrik Clark thought to, but with a more robust theorization. They were way more impressed with Castro's land reform than his proclamations of eradicating racial discrimination. But all four took a nod from Frantz Fanon and saw black freedom as a decolonizing process, partially thanks to Cuba. But only partially thanks to Cuba. Fast forward to 1967. Honorary Prime Minister of the BPP and the former SNCC chairman, Stokely Carmichael, called for black power in a book of the same name that posited how the state built an internal colony that precluded the achievement of substantive racial equality. Meanwhile, Baraka promoted black arts, cultural self-determination to cultivate a counter-hegemonic identity to precede the black political nation. Casa de las Americas and Kayak in Cuba did the same thing. It'd be hard to draw a causal link, but the similarities are more compelling than you think. But over the years, it became very clear that socialist reforms had not unmade Cuba's racial oppression, but the general consensus among the top brass was to say no way. Was pushing like radical activists away from the Castro regime in significant numbers. Baraka and Angela Davis stayed, but Williams, Eldridge, Cleaver, and Carmichael all went the other way. But all told, this whole generation of thinkers shared some critical paradigms, like third world identity, the internal colony nationalism, and state violence. So while oftentimes Castro and the Cuban Revolution are included in lists of things that influenced black radical thought in the mid-60s, it might be better to think about these as sort of like lenses that refracted a much earlier discursive history and set these trajectories philosophically that sort of eventually led to these particular developments in the 60s and 70s that came to define black radical thought, and to an extent on through today. But I don't want to overstate the Cuba! Thanks.
All right, we're all walking in. Hey, Ben, what's going on? So you guys have been hanging with me on DIY. I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for chatting along. Thank you for the audience to be here. At the end of the show, I always like to talk about what I think I learned today, and I think what I learned is just some more reassurance of what I've always believed, and that is that DIY communities and doing it yourself is always going to be better than everything else because it comes from the heart, it comes from passion, it comes from real points of view, and that's what we're here to talk about on the show. I don't want to play around. I don't want to pretend. I don't want to sell you some lie. I want to speak real to you. So if you're going to watch DIY and you're going to continue to keep watching, any question you ask, I will answer. Anything you want to say to me, I will say it. And, that's what we're here for. We're a resource. We're a place where you can come to and feel just as weird as I do every week, because all week long I'm constantly feeling weird and awkward and stuff, and that's going to continue to happen. But either way, you've been watching DIY. I want to thank all my guests. Thank you guys for coming. Thanks to James Ikeda again for performing. You want to hustle up here? You think you can hustle up? He's going to hustle up here for the goodbye. Oh, here we go. We got Mr. Ikeda here. Check out the Michael character. Ben, check out Missiles, his band. Check out his art online. You got somewhere we can find your art?
Sure, Instagram.
Instagram, look him up. Larz, check out any of her projects. Palehound's great. Dump Him's great. If you want Bright Red Reason, I got links. I got you.
I got the CD.
You got the CD?
Hell yeah.
Lexi, anywhere we can find you?
On the streets being fashionable.
On the streets being fashionable. So if you want to see Lexi, check her out on the streets. In a very nice way. I don't know, whatever. But either way, I want to thank Cardia for playing the video games all day long. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy. I want to thank my crew. Thank you to Josh. Thank you to Justin, Will, all them, Kevin, Chris, all you guys. Thank you to the audience for coming in. You guys are the best. Thank you for being a part of this. And yeah, I think that's about it. Well, without further ado, Mr. Sam, Sonny Jim, thank you to you guys. Why don't we have the shit kickers play us out, everybody? Take it away. Thanks for watching DIY. Yeah.